just wanting to get in my spot, aren't you? All right. Well, hello, all you high thinkers and folks that I hope are thinking in general. Back here with Penny again. She's trying to take up the whole couch, but she is going to share it with me. So that's nice. And today I was going to continue on a little bit more talking about the Renaissance and the spread of ideas and how things just really opened up after the Gutenberg press and other things that allowed communication to flow freely, the Bible being translated to other languages and coming up with all these other ideas. But I think the other thing to me is interesting how even today people are still inclined to, when they believe something, they'll get so far into it that they think that they confuse it with the truth. They'll say, this is the truth. I hear that all the time from different Christian organizations because, again, as I've think about in other videos, how Christianity is not just one religion. There's just, I think I saw a statement that said there was like 34,000 different versions of Christianity. And they can't all be right, and probably none of them are, but they hold moral codes and all this other stuff. So not getting into all of that quite so much, but by all these ideas expanding out there, con men were able to use that to come up with all sorts of different ways to manipulate people. And even though there wasn't really sciences about how all of this happens and how people are persuaded to believe certain things, that comes later, which we'll get to. But one of the big ones I was thinking about, and again, even up to the 16th century, 17th century, sure, there were a lot more books and paper, but knowledge still got around very slowly. So it was also easy to manipulate people in that way. And I think one of the biggies to me, a prime example of this, was that around like 1820, Joseph Smith claimed that he had a dream where angels told him where to dig up a book of golden plates, which he claims to have translated and called it the Book of Mormons. To this day, I don't believe anybody knows where these golden plates are, since my guess is they never existed. But nonetheless, he was able to take this and sell it to people and create a religion that is huge today. I mean, even we have a Senator Romney is a Mormon. I mean, people still believe that stuff, and it's pretty outrageous. I haven't really delved way into it, but some of their ideas on ancient history, and especially in America with the Native American people, and it's pretty out there. And the thing to me, I mean, and it's fine to throw ideas out there, but when you have no proof at all that it's real, you just have to take it on belief because this guy said so. Well, that's bad. That's where we're getting into the bad part of manipulating belief. So, and again, in the other video, I was saying how belief gets confused with the truth. But we're going to get more into that later on because the manipulation of people and how that all happens. But the thing is, for centuries, thousands of years, really, especially with not just the Catholic Church, I throw them out there a lot because, I mean, they were huge for so long. I mean, it's hard to equate them to anything else. I'm sure other bad things were happening in other religions, but basically, if you didn't believe the way they wanted you to, torture and death was what they would do. People have been conditioned to believe for basically all of human history, it seems like, at least the majority of it. If you don't go along with whoever's in power, then you're going to suffer the consequences of it. And so I think that's still very much in force today, but there's a few caveats to that. Or should I say, well, let's get into that a little bit. So Sigmund Freud, that was in the latter part of the 18th century, where he came up with psychoanalyst. And he had a nephew, Edward Bernays, that was considered to be, he was instrumental in developing propaganda. In fact, he's considered the father of propaganda. And these two things are extremely important because now, in the past, sure, people knew how to lie and manipulate people, but now it was getting to be like a real science. I mean, people were documenting and uh, experimenting, if you will, and describing how things manipulate people or motivate people and move things. And this can be a really good thing. There's lots of excellent things, of course, with psychiatry today, and learning about mental health and how to help people and all of the great things that it does. But it's also used in some really horrible ways. And there are techniques in mind control, especially going back to like communist China and, well, and cults. And when I say cults, when you, we'll get more into that, but the techniques that cults use to recruit and get people to believe what they're selling has a lot to do with discoveries in psychiatry and just basically human nature. Uh, and it would be very beneficial to society to really get that out there to the common man. This also kind of goes back to, ancient times where it was hard to get information out to everybody. Well, today you're getting flooded with information. There's just so much coming in all the time. So if you're the common man and you're working two jobs or whatever, and man or woman, okay, not leave anybody out here because now everybody works, right? You don't have time to delve into all this stuff. And in fact, I've been studying this stuff for a long time, off and on. But now that I'm retired, I can delve into it more, and that's why I'm doing these videos, because understanding this and how people are manipulated is extremely important. And again, I'm not, that's not my profession. I was in computers, did mainframes in the Air Force, and then later on all sorts of different avenues. But the last part I was doing was network engineering and internet security and those kind of things. So, I have a background in computers, and let me tell you, you have to be learning all the time, studying all kinds of things. So I guess I feel like anyway, hopefully this is coming across, that I was all the time having to read and analyze things and figure out how things work. So now I've kind of turned my attention back to these kind of things because propaganda and manipulation is running rampant these days. And when we start getting into some of the techniques on that, I'm hoping that's where these videos will finally start getting to be very beneficial to people. I feel like the ones I've done so far, I hope they're leading up to something. When I look back at them, it's like, okay, well, why am I doing this? I'm hoping that they come to fruition here as we go forward, and we'll have a lot of really good information in those future videos. So anyways, with that, before we delve into mind control and undue influence and propaganda, doesn't that sound fun? Really? I mean, come on. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video, found it somewhat amusing maybe got something out of it. Like, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. Tell your friends, forward it on, whatever. Maybe you just want to say, hey, get a load of this guy. He thinks he's doing something helpful for society. Oh no, we can't have that. All right, I'll stop there. Anyway, I hope you all keep thinking those high thoughts, and most of all, have a groovy day. See ya.